stole a lot of money. Let me correct myself, allegedly, and whatever. That's not what the story is. The story is that BlockFi, another cryptocurrency exchange, is now officially filing for bankruptcy. So just to give you a bit of background, BlockFi was actually in deep trouble with the Luna collapse around the time of the Luna collapse, about 6 months ago, or whatever that was. And they were bailed out by SBF, by FTX, by Sam Bankman-Fried, as well as a few other exchanges that were bailed out by them. And as part of that bailout, there was loans between BlockFi and FTX after the bailout happened. Yeah. And so BlockFi's owed $680 million of loans. So BlockFi said on Monday that SBF's investment firm Alameda Research defaulted on $680 million of collateral loans at the beginning of the month, right? And they were already in quite a tough space, BlockFi. And so this has been the sort of final nail in the coffin for them. They have officially filed for bankruptcy, but they are suing Sam Bankman-Fried, saying that it's a result of them defaulting on the loan, FTX defaulting on the loan, that has led them to have to file for bankruptcy.
Dude, it's a very fucked situation on all ankles. And I watched a few of the interviews he did. I listened to a little bit of the Spaces. The Spaces was fucking miserable. The interviews I've watched, he looks like, I can't even believe their lawyers are like letting him talk right now. It's just, I've never seen so much just garbage come out of someone's mouth. It's like nonsense. He literally doesn't say anything like, did you do this? And he's like, what you need to understand is I wasn't over here and I wasn't quite sure on this. And you're like, no, did you do it? Well, like, I have to check all the details. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, bro, oh my God. Either this was literally the worst run operation of all time and you literally don't know anything, or you're just 100% guilty and just can't admit it on camera. It's just gotta be one of the two.
I think this pleading ignorance and not knowing anything is really silly. He's definitely a very, very bright guy, and he's definitely a very clued up guy, and I think he's a very calculated guy, and I think him coming out and doing all these spaces and things like this is a calculated move on his behalf. But I don't buy the story of I had no idea what was going on in Alameda. I had no idea this, that, the other. I don't buy it. Yeah. There have been some interesting admissions that have come out. That Mario space. Did you listen to that 2-hour Mario space?
Not the whole thing. I tried my best, but it was terrible.
That was really interesting because you know me, I do like listening a lot to Ran Nunez. I really do like him. I really respect him. And he was one of the speakers there. And you know, when SBF was being sort of pushed on how could you have used clients' funds to make investments through Alameda, SBF went on to say, look, you know, it's an exchange and people know that, you know, they're trading. And Run made it so clear. He said it a few times in different ways that, hold on, if I literally took $20,000, bought one Bitcoin through silver whatever, so it wasn't even through the exchange, just for you to hold. So I was not leverage trading. I was using you as a bank. That's got to be separate from the guy who was leverage trading and whatever. Did you have one Bitcoin to back up my Bitcoin? And SBF said, look, I have to look into it, but I don't think so. Right now, the fact he said I have to look into it is just for him to cover himself. But the fact that he said no, like we didn't, even if you were depositing and not trading at all on the exchange, that is highly illegal and fraudulent. And he pretty much admitted that.
Did you see the thing about the backdoor? They were like, did you design your website to give you a backdoor? And he goes, well, I can't code a website. Couldn't be me.
Code. Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
You've got $10 billion. You can hire someone who can code. Even if that is true, you can hire someone who can code. You know?
Dude, unbelievable. I was like, how fucking thick do you think people are? This is the internet. You're going to get ripped apart for something like this.
The funny thing, CADE, is that a lot of people are falling for it. And we've seen, even like when he did that interview, it was on TV, but it wasn't Good Morning America. And the crowd was clapping afterwards and, you know, giggling at him, saying that his attorneys very much don't suggest that he does this. So he is, people who don't understand crypto, and he starts getting technical with leverage trading and positions and
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that, they start to think, oh, this poor guy, so,
Yeah. Just trying to throw him
yes,
off.
the hardcore crypto guys and the guys who actually understand a lot more than you and I do about leverage trading and whatever, those guys he's not going to convince. But
Right.
I don't think he's trying to. I think he's trying to get really, really good public support.
What do you think? Are we going to talk about BitBoy's whole extravaganzas?
Well, we